Kenobi. Obi-Wan is over. 6 episodes, 6 weeks of Obi-Wan trying to rescue Princess Leia. Yeah, that's the show. That was the show. Listen, it sounds like I don't like Obi-Wan. I have no problem with Obi-Wan. I have a problem with the writers. The writers. What are they doing? What are you guys doing? Okay, let me back this up. Okay, so Obi-Wan is announced. Everybody's hyped about it. Everybody on TikTok. If people start bashing Ewan McGregor and Hayden, we're not gonna let that happen. We're not gonna do it. Y'all ain't gonna beef with this show. So there was a whole community of people like they were just gonna, dude, these people were gonna love this show regardless. They could do they could cut and paste Hayden in the show and they still love it. Listen, I grew up with the prequels, okay? I was 5. Oh, no, I wasn't 5. I was 6 years old when the Phantom Menace came out. Do you think I heard about the discourse and the beef regarding Jar Jar back in 1999 when I was 6? No, I didn't. And I didn't care back then. All I wanted was to be Darth Maul for Halloween, bro. Because he was the shit. Darth Maul was the shit. And no matter what you say about the Phantom Menace, everybody knows Darth Maul. That's why he came back later. And that's why he's one of the best Star Wars characters to ever exist. So, we have the Fandom Menace. Part 2. I should say the Fandom Menace. Because there was a whole documentary of grown men complaining about the prequels and how it ruined their childhood of the original trilogy. Those guys are in their 40s and 50s now, which is fine. They had their moment to complain about their childhoods getting ruined. Okay? Then we had the sequels come out. Okay. Force Awakens, it was praised. You know, people generally loved that movie. They said, yeah, it's kind of a carbon copy of A New Hope, but it still brought back Star Wars, and it felt like Star Wars. We were all on the same page. The Last Jedi comes out. Oh, man. I was not prepared for that movie. I personally like the way they went with Luke. The only problem I had with Last Jedi was the casino story, the whole B story of Finn, that whole story arc freeing the animals. I think I have a problem with B storylines in general, because that ties into my problems with Obi-Wan as well. But yes, let's get back to this whole bashing and the Fandom Menace Part 2. People are bashing. Okay, so Obi-Wan comes out and half the community is like praising it, and then you have the other half people are just straight up, some people are bashing the actress, which isn't cool, who plays Reva. Bashing an actress or an actor is never a good look, dude. What are your actual problems with the show? You can talk about their characters, but don't bash the actors and actresses, because it's not their fault. It's the writer's fault and it's the director's fault. Okay? Don't do it. So you have half the community bashing, just straight up bashing the show. You have half the community just straight up praising the show. And then you have, okay, maybe I shouldn't say half. Then you have a small community of people, you know, the diehard fans. There's 2 types of diehard fans. Diehard fans that love everything, and then the diehard fans that will nitpick everything. Most of those people that are nitpicking, it's not really nitpicking. They care about the lore, what's been previously established. So if they're talking to you about like a writing point, or saying the music is bad, or they're saying, oh, that shaky cam was bad, those are honest criticisms, guys. And they're allowed to say it. They're allowed to tell you, like, listen, the writing it wasn't that great. Yes, all Star Wars writing isn't great. There's some great Star Wars writing, there's some bad Star Wars writing, even about the original trilogy. And you can nitpick that too. So don't come at the people for having an opinion. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok. They're straight up bashing other TikTok creators. They're bashing Soups. They're bashing Star Wars Theory. Dude's got the biggest Star Wars channel on YouTube, and they're bashing him because he wasn't loving Star Wars the way you love Star Wars. And he has his own relationship with Star Wars. You think he talks about Star Wars every day because, for no reason? No. So, people are allowed to have opinions, but don't bash somebody for having one. Bring your own opinion of the show to the forefront. Don't just bash somebody. Because you know what? We all don't look at this stuff the same way. But when there's an overall agreement, like, hey, some of that writing was weird. Or, hey, that character didn't really affect me the way that Disney wanted it to. Reva. She's a dope character. She's a dope character. She just shouldn't have been in Obi-Wan. That's not the show that they should have put her in. I would have rather gotten a Reva show, an entire show with her and her story. Bring in the other Inquisitors, because they got sidelined too. This whole show, the Inquisitors, and partly because of what they did with the Reva character. Reva has more screen time than Hayden Christensen, than Darth Vader. In an Obi-Wan series, Duel of the Fates finale, we've been waiting for this for years. They brought out Hayden Christensen on stage, Star Wars Celebration. They paraded him around, him and Ewan. Darth Vader's back, Obi-Wan's back, they're gonna duel again. And that duel was lit, by the way. The finale was lit. But you know what wasn't lit? Was Reva, spoiler alert, Reva intercutting in the middle of the fight to some B storyline. With the stakes, there is no stakes. We know what's going to happen with Luke. So when you're cutting to Reva chasing Luke, and we got badass Owen and Aunt Beru being badasses, and that's awesome. But why are we cutting to that in the middle of the duel of the century? Something that everybody's been waiting for. Notice in Revenge of the Sith, when they're on Mustafar, dude, how long is that fight? How long is that fight? And do they cut away at all? I don't think they do. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. The cameos in Obi-Wan were good. They were good. But, and this is a valid criticism, what you do with those cameos matter. And we do get a little bit of Qui-Gon at the very end, which was awesome. I haven't seen Qui-Gon in years. He's in some of the books and stuff, but those aren't really canon. According to Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Star Wars comics, and the novels, all that it's stuff they can pull from, but they don't count that as canon. And there's a list of things, there's a legit list of things that they've changed from the novels and the comic books that are supposed to be canon. So that's a whole nother conversation about the canon. Just stick to the movies and the TV shows, and if you have some extra time, which a lot of people don't, then you can read the novels and the books, or the comic books. Dude, and it's just, I'm kind of all over the place with Obi-Wan, because I gave it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10, but then I'm trying to think, dude, you got shows like Stranger Things. Each episode of Stranger Things is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, an hour. Most of these shows for Obi-Wan was like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. The finale was like 50 minutes with credits. Like, seriously? I don't know. It's just weird, dude. Like, you would think they put all the money into Obi-Wan. The Andor show, it already has 2 seasons greenlit, and each of those seasons is like 12 episodes. Like, dude, what is going on? What is happening in Andor that requires so much time and money? Because that costs money, dude. 2 seasons, 12 episodes each. I heard the budget of Obi-Wan was like $90 million. Dude, they were dropping $30 million per episode with Stranger Things. You gotta come correct, Disney, Lucasfilm. Some of those shots in the show were dope. Some of it, so the cinematography looked dope sometimes, but most of the time it looked like a TV show. Looked like, dude, I won't even say it looks like a fan film, because some fan films look better. The shaky cam. What are you doing? These are just honest, real criticisms here. You know, B storylines. You know, Leia's story. Dude, Princess Leia is dope. She should have been back on Alderaan, 2nd episode, 3rd episode, max. How many times does Obi-Wan have to go save the princess when we already know that happens in A New Hope, dude? And he saves her like 2 or 3 times in this show. Straight up padded for time, dude. What they choose to focus on is frustrating. And a lot of people notice. And they're not going to stay silent just because it's Hayden and Ewan coming back. It's a valid problem, dude. I don't understand it. I don't know. They're hiring writers that don't know the previous material. They have to call Pablo Hidalgo and ask, hey, is this cool? Are we allowed? Is Obi-Wan allowed to know that Vader is Vader's Anakin? It's like, no, like, why are you asking that question, dude? You should know this question. They should be hiring the best of the best to write these shows. And I'm not going to just blame Kathleen Kennedy. You know, she's produced tons of films in her past career. With Spielberg, with Lucas. You know, she's earned it. But the people that she's hiring are maybe not making the best decisions. Maybe she's not making some best decisions. She called out Alden Ehrenreich, blamed him for the failure of Solo, even though she fired the director midway through the shoot. You know, that's not cool. That's why it failed, because you didn't trust the vision, and you're changing the vision midway through, and we can see right through that. So back to Obi-Wan. You got shows like Stranger Things with their maxed budget. Then you got The Boys. I don't know. I'm not sure what their budget is, but that's quality TV. I should not be more invested in The Boys and Stranger Things over Obi-Wan Kenobi, dude. I grew up with Obi-Wan Kenobi. The battles, the fighting in Obi-Wan was cool. Everything that had to do with Ewan was dope. Obi-Wan was cool. Hayden barely got screen time. That we had one flashback in 6 episodes, and the whole series doesn't have to be flashbacks. But when you bring back Hayden Christensen on stage, he should have second billing. Reva has more screen time, dude. The other Inquisitors didn't even get screen time. They nerfed the Grand Inquisitor, and he pops up at the very end like, "What's up? I'll see y'all on Rebels. I'll see y'all later." What happened to the fifth brother? And what was the other sister? The yellow chick. What was her? We don't even know. And I've watched Rebels, but they should have made that more of a thing in Obi-Wan. Why are you going to introduce the Inquisitors if you're just going to have them be extras, basically? Because that's what they were. A lot of standing around and repeating story beats. I don't know. I'm very frustrated with Obi-Wan. Like some of this, a lot of people had problems with the score, the musical score. I didn't really have a problem with it. It could have been better. I just think the writing if the writing was better, then the music would enhance the writing. Because you shouldn't need a musical cue to feel an emotion in a scene. the musical score is supposed to supplement and enhance the already written scene. So, what I like about Obi-Wan, the finale. Okay, so I liked the way they wrapped everything up with Leia. She's got her blaster holster at the end, her white outfit on. Obi-Wan's like, listen, we have to keep this on the DL. That was dope. So that ties right into A New Hope. Like, it's dangerous if people know that we know each other. Like, that's fine. The final fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, Hayden's mask broken. He has those last words. It was my fault. It wasn't your fault. I killed Anakin. That was dope. We needed more of that. The fighting is cool, but if you don't have the emotional communication, like, to back that up, it's just a bunch of noise, and people aren't going to care about it. And I guarantee you, if they reduced Reva's storyline and gave all that screen time to Darth Vader, so like you get a parallel of, like, you see what Obi-Wan is doing to help the rebels, and you see the Darth Vader's aspect of it, like maybe he's on a mission with the Inquisitors, and then he gets a call. It's like, yo, we got reports that Obi-Wan's on this planet. Like, what? To see that reaction, like, yo, we got Vader in the Bacta tank and in his castle on Mustafar. That was dope. But what was he doing in his office? He's not really in action. We only get to see him, like, in action when he's on that planet. In like episode 3, when he's dragging people in the town and choking out people and snapping necks, even though he doesn't want to snap Reva's neck because plot. He has no problem murking some random townspeople, but when he's like, yo, you got away, you're a youngling, you got away, and you know who I am. Let me just stab you in the stomach and hopefully you die. What? That's what it is. That's the writing. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I liked Obi-Wan. It sounds like I'm hating, but no, just like, these are just valid criticisms. I like seeing Bail Organa and Alderaan. All that shit was sick. All of it. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yo, I don't know, like, who his agent is, dude, but, like, alright, I'll give it a pass. Sick. The chase sequence in the forest, not sick, but, it's just like a sequence. And that's what I mean by, like, you can pick out the things that you like about these shows. Like the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. I fucking hate the Ewoks, dude. I hate the Ewoks. I watched Return of the Jedi strictly for the Emperor Darth Vader Luke storyline and the opening sequence and the opening scene at Jabba's palace. I fast forward through the music stuff, the singing, and I fast forward through most of the Ewok stuff. Like that's a perfect example of, like, people put Return of the Jedi on a pedestal, and I'm pretty sure people had beef with Return of the Jedi when it came out, but it's still regarded as one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. But for me, I have mad problems with that movie, and I can pick out things with the original Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back that I didn't like. And even the prequels, dude. Even the prequels. I talked about the Phantom Menace earlier. Episode 2. All that Jango Fett stuff, sick. Sick. That's why I watch Attack of the Clones. Because you get more information about Jango and Boba. It's just one of those things. Revenge of the Sith. Dude, those fights were so long. They were so long. They were dope, but I don't know. I would have preferred it if they kept the fight shorter and gave Vader... At the time, I was like, I thought Vader was going to be in it more. Because we just see him becoming Vader. So when I was a kid in 2005, I was like, yo, where's Darth Vader at? So now that we actually have an Obi-Wan show, they're promising, yo, Darth Vader's Darth Vader. Obi-Wan's back. It's like, shit, dude. Hayden's back. Oh, he's going to be one of the main characters. No, dude. He's barely in the show. And they have the AI AI version of James Earl Jones doing the voice, which is dope because it sounds like him. I just think they didn't utilize Hayden enough. they didn't respect that character, or that actor, I should say, enough to actually write him a meaty part. That's all I'll say about it. I liked Obi-Wan. I want to see an edited version of the 6 episodes, maybe into like 2.5 hour movie, and just take out a bunch of the Reva stuff. Like, it's gonna be hard to like completely remove her character. I'm willing to take out that whole chase sequence at the end of Reva. I want to see a Reva cut where she's cut from the show, and if it flows better, I really want to know. Or maybe just when Vader kills her, maybe that's it for her, because we see she's stabbed and we pan away. Maybe that's just her end. So maybe somebody can edit that and cut her scenes down to where it flows better. Because I think they have something here with the show. It's just padded so much, and the episodes are so short. You don't really... It's not really as effective as it could be. What do you guys think?